I feel like I didn't really talk about how it actually felt to move to a different country mid career decision. Everyone talks about the aesthetic side of moving to another country, but no one actually talks about this part. When I moved here to Japan, I wasn't just moving, but I was leaving a part of my life behind that made sense at that moment. So let's bring this all the way back, okay? I had gotten married, moved to Travis Air Force Base, so I had to quit the current job that I was at there. Then I went to school, got my certification in medical assisting, and after that, I was having that patient medical assistant interaction, and I was seeing how, patients would be with nurse practitioners, with physician assistants, doctors. I was getting all kinds of different experiences. I worked in urgent care, and I also worked in a behavioral health clinic. So I was gaining all these experiences, and eventually I was about like 4 months into being a medical assistant, and I was like, you know what? I want to do more. I want to be a physician assistant. So what did I do? I took my little booty back and I went back to school. And I went so far that I got my bachelor's. I got 2 degrees in just 2 years, which was my associate's in health science and then my bachelor's in health science with a focus on pre-physician assistant studies. And I was ready. And when I mean ready, I mean I was ready to apply to PA school. And I feel like I don't really talk about this that much because honestly, to this day, I still feel like it's a sensitive topic. Because I think that when you marry somebody and they're your partner, they're like your life partner, your soulmate, whatever it is that you define them as, you chose them. And my person happened to be here before I even discovered my dream about healthcare, right? So, when all of that was going on, I was finally at the point in my career and in my studies. Keep in mind, I was working full time. I was picking up shifts when I needed. Um, Not even when I needed. When my boss would call me, she'd be like, "Hey, like this girl called out. Like, can you come in?" I was always so ready to go because I loved urgent care. I loved working with patients. I loved helping people. Like, I just felt like it was a calling where I was like, I think this is what I am meant to do. I think I am meant to help people. And I just became so passionate about it. Like, I remember watching Grey's Anatomy. I remember watching like my K dramas, Hospital Playlist, if you guys know that. And I just felt so motivated in the direction that I was going in to the point where I would have, by the way, I was vice president of the physician assistant club at the college that I was at as well. So I was like doing presentations. I was, speaking to other students, motivating them. Like I was very highly involved. And basically, right when I was going to apply, my husband comes home and he says, "We got orders to Okinawa." And I didn't know what to do with this information. I genuinely did not know what to do with this information because a part of me, right? Let's backtrack a little bit, okay? Before I had gotten married, I was going to school for a French degree. So I have another associate's degree in arts for language in French. And I wanted to go 2 years abroad to a college in Lyon, and I wanted to be abroad. However, that did not happen. I ended up, getting married, which was okay. Like I just knew what I wanted at that time. Again, like I think different chapters of your life require different things, and that was a decision that I was okay with. But basically, the truth is that when this decision came about moving to Okinawa and he told me, I feel like I just automatically kind of just bawled my eyes out. But it wasn't because I was like, oh, like I'm gonna not go with him or this or that. It wasn't really crying about that. I was crying because I realized, like, life kind of just flashed before my eyes, and I was like, oh my God, like, you did so much work to get to this point, and now you're not going to get there. And it's not because you're not capable, it's not because you don't want to, but because you in your heart know that you prioritize something else. And in my shoes, that priority is love. I am a person who chooses love, even over a career or over my own goals. And, do what you want with that information. It could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. But I knew automatically that I was going to go to Okinawa with my husband because he is my best friend. And I don't think anything was going to change that decision for me. I can't speak for the future, but it's just that at that moment I already knew what was going on. Not only that, but I think when he came home to tell me the news, he knew how much it mattered to me. And he knew how important that was, and he knew like this was a big decision to make. I was never pressured to make any kind of decision. But my point is, when you move abroad, you're just not moving to live this aesthetic lifestyle because it's not true. Obviously, everyone's story is different. This is mine and this is my experience. But I think it's just kind of crazy to think about that I was ready to start a career. I had my 5 letters of recommendation. I had volunteer hours. I had volunteered at the pharmacy on Travis Air Force Base, like just helping people with their medications because they were constantly understaffed. I was signing up to like the Solano community, like trying to get other volunteer opportunities there. And then on top of that, I was, doing meetings for the PA club. I was obviously studying full time and going to work full time. So I was very highly involved. I even got shadowing done at a behavioral clinic. And I got to learn so many things. And just a shout out to that PA because I learned so much from him, and it was honestly an eye-opening experience, and it just made me realize how much I really loved the field. And I think because of that, the decision to move abroad was just so deep because I was essentially coming from a place of a moment that was really going to define my future, I felt like. Because again, I was passionate, I was really involved, and I was ready. I was ready to like apply to school and like graduate with a white coat. Like I was ready. I was ready to make that next step. However, as you could tell, that did not happen. I am now here in Okinawa, Japan, living a completely different life. Didn't say it was a bad one, didn't say it was the wrong one, and honestly, I don't regret my decision. I think that everything happens for a reason, but sometimes we don't really see it, right? We don't really see it. We don't really know why things happen the way that they do. Sometimes you just need to go with it or go with the flow. So I guess what I'm saying is life in Japan is very completely different from the States. You have to learn a new language essentially in order to even try to talk to people. It's very hard to make friends, and during this station, I don't actually live on base, I live off a base. So I've been able to make maybe like one friend that I count her as a friend. I don't even know if she counts me as a friend, but I count her as a friend. So it's a very difficult position to be in. But you also kind of have that wishy-washy feel where it's like, I am grateful for the opportunity, but it doesn't change the fact that what happened happened. And here's the thing about moving to a new country or to a new place. You have the opportunity to start over. And I think that is something that took me a minute to understand. I have the opportunity to start over in a bunch of different ways, but it's just harder for me, I think, to think that way because I'm coming from like a student mentality where it's like I need to study, I need to graduate, I need to get a career and follow that typical step. And now that that's not the case, I'm like, what do I do? What is the next step if you're not following the traditional like school routine, right? This is why I wanted to do social media, because I was like, you know what? This isn't very traditional. This is something different. I have an opportunity to start over, so why not? And I guess I just wanted to take a moment with this video to really talk about what it is that I was going through during my move to Okinawa, because I feel like I don't really talk face to face, and I do make videos for you guys. I really like it. But I also feel like I haven't been open enough to create a connection with you guys. And that was my goal through this video, to actually show you guys my emotions behind how I actually felt about moving to Okinawa. Like I said, I think now I have the opportunity to start over. I'm not in grievances of what it was that happened in the past. I feel like I am now in a more opened mindset. I'm really excited for what the future has to hold. And I guess with that being said, I want to encourage you guys to encourage change. I think with change, it's not always welcomed because it's different, it's scary, it's I don't know, it's what ifs. And in reality, I feel like those things can hold us back from reaching our full potential. And I'm guilty of that. I think that I am holding myself back by not putting myself out there enough with you guys, or, just, I don't know, I guess holding whatever authenticity it is that I have inside because I'm too scared to show you, I guess. If I'm being completely honest, I think it's just a bit of a scary feeling trying to put yourself out there in social media and trying to create something of yourself. And then what if it's just not it? What if it just doesn't work out? What if people don't like you? And I think those are genuine worries that I have. But I've come to that point where it's like, I need to stop worrying about the what ifs, the oh my gosh, the I don't know. Because sure, I might not be able to help people through medicine, but maybe I can help people through my videos, through sharing my feelings, through sharing what it is that I'm going through, because most likely I'm probably not the only one that's going through it. So, I don't know. I guess that's my hot take on, what was it that actually happened, or what was it that I was actually feeling when moving abroad. Because I think it's not always rainbows and butterflies, but I think that eventually you start to see butterflies. Eventually you start to see flowers bloom, and eventually you start to feel the warmth of the sun again. And that is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to feel the warmth of the sun. I am trying to find a new version of myself, whoever it is that she is. And I want to encourage her to find out what that is. I hope this video gave you a little bit more of a background of where it is that I'm coming from my story about moving abroad. And honestly, if you guys enjoy these types of talks, please let me know. I won't know if you like it if you don't comment. But if you made it this far into the video, honestly, thank you so much for hearing me out. I just feel like I got so fed up with trying to do so much on YouTube, and in reality, I feel like I just needed to make this video and be honest, be myself, and honestly just talk to you guys about it. Because right now, you guys are my friends. So, thank you again for hearing me out. And I will most definitely see you in the next vlog.